Okay, welcome back, and here we go again. Episode 2. This is gonna be called Markets and Bandits. And you might be asking yourself right now, what does Markets and Bandits actually have to do with each other? And, well, it's kinda obvious. What you do is you go into caves, you kill bandits, and you loot whatever you can find, whatever's good. You don't take anything that is too much weight and not enough money, and but you do take vice versa. You do take what is a lot of money and not much weight at all. And then after you clear out a cave, you go to the market, you sell it all, and if you're not done with that cave because you got over encumbered and all your stuff is worth selling, you go back into the cave and you finish clearing it out. So, right now I am finishing my way through the series. It's not really hard, just a few rats and 2 goblins to pass. Not much. So here we go. I'm gonna start sneaking right here and, goblin and flying an arrow. I killed him, and that's what I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to get away from the other one. I was trying to see if I could sneak up on him too, but apparently he can see around corners, so it's totally okay. It wasn't that hard to kill with a sword. And if you watched my last video, one of my major skills is a sword, so I actually need to work on that. Well, I mean, I didn't really last time. I mainly used the bow. And if you guys haven't already, you should go and check out my friend Darklight's channel. He's been doing a playthrough of Oblivion as well, and he's actually an orc, and his series is called The Quest of the Unjolly Green Giant, I think it was the last time I checked. And yeah, him and his Rat Smasher have been doing very well so far, just killing the crap out of everything. Totally fine. It's a different approach to what he usually does. Usually he's kind of sneaky, or mage, definitely. He's been a big mage in the past. So here I am. I'm just gonna go quickly to the market district and sell everything I took from the cave I just came out of, because I don't really have much weight left to carry. I might have just like a few pounds, so I go to the market district just to sell all my stuff, or sell most of the stuff that I have. Maybe not all of it. Some of the stuff that's like scrolls, I don't always sell because I don't go into a magic shop to sell it. And usually armor shops where I sell most of my stuff don't take it. So taking off that torch because I'm on the lowest setting, or one of the lowest settings. So what it's doing is it's actually so light out even when it's dark that there's no point for a torch. When I first played the game on the Xbox, on the graphics for the Xbox, it was so dark that you always needed a torch in a cave. It was horrible. You just needed a torch, and if you didn't have a torch, you should have got one. And that's why I always kept like 50 torches in my house, because, if your torch dies, you just go to your house real quick, get a new one, and go back doing whatever you're doing. I'm just selling all the stuff that I don't really need, so I can go raid that cave. After I'm done selling my stuff here, I'm actually gonna go over to the other guy and buy whatever he's got for light armor that I don't have. Only thing I refuse to do at this current time is wear a light helmet, because in my opinion the leather and the fur helmet both look extremely stupid. And I don't know what else to say about that. They just make your character look weird, and I don't like my character looking weird, so no helmet for now.
I offer the finest goods and lowest prices in all Cyrodiil.
Also, if you check out my friend's channel, we are going to raid the same cave at first. It's a very good cave to raid. There's a lot of money invested in it. There's stones that regenerate your magicka, I believe. And they're 50 a piece, and if your mercantile isn't so high, you might not get as much out of them, but they don't even, I think they weigh just 1 pound. So it's definitely worth it. It's more than worth it, actually, because most of the stuff you'll carry around, like, if you start carrying around weapons and armor, you're gonna be carrying 22 pounds for like 47 gold, I think, is a claymore, iron claymore. So I'm just gonna go out here, and I accidentally sold my bow inside, so I'm actually gonna go over to Fighting Chance and get a new bow, because I totally didn't mean to do that.
Welcome to
And here we are. Just gonna buy an iron bow, and I also noticed there's a fine iron longsword there. And I just forgot to get it. I'm gonna go back in, I'm gonna get that, and then I'm gonna sell my iron longsword, because there's no point in having an iron longsword if I don't have a fine iron. If I have a fine iron longsword. Sorry about that. Once again, please excuse my crappy graphics. It's actually gonna get worse, believe it or not, from here. So here we go. I'm gonna go back out to that cave. First, I have to go right back to the sewers, because I didn't find that dungeon that we're gonna go splunk. We're gonna go raid. Let's put it that way. Another thing I know, one thing I really like about the computer, and I didn't just notice this, but I am gonna say this now, is in Oblivion for the Xbox took so long to load, and it was annoying. You never wanted to load. You wanted to fast travel because it was so much faster, but the loading time would have just made it worth it to walk. But in this game, it's just like it's not a big deal. You're done, you know. It's the way it is. And once again, on this video, you will have to excuse my mouse, which I don't know why that's there. I meant to turn it off in my video recorder, but I guess it didn't really work. And if you didn't just notice, I did sneak kill one of the bandits that were outside guarding their friends. Another thing I like about the computer, and I don't know if I said this in my last video, is that you have the ability to walk slower or run by hitting, for me it's caps lock. You can change it to whatever you want. I actually changed my sneak key to my auto walk, to what was my auto walk key, because I don't use auto walk and my sneak is much more important, and it's right near everything else, so I can just hit it while I'm doing whatever. And this guy's gonna come charging at me. I did miss him like 5 times, but that's because I really couldn't judge the distance, and he just healed himself, so he's a troll. I didn't even know he had a healing spell before, because usually he was dead by the time he got to use it. In my opinion, it's not worth it to take all of that. I don't know why I did. It's worth it to take the fur stuff because it doesn't weigh much and it gets you a few pennies. But, like the pants, there's not really a point in taking those. You leave them on the person. And here we go. We're gonna go into the cave now. And at first you might not think this cave is so large, but at one point you'll get to a certain point where you'll think it's like a dead end. All you have to do is step on a plate, and it will open a door, And at first, I totally forgot about it. But you'll see where I actually catch on to it. Once again, just taking his fur and my arrows back because I only have so many and they're not exactly cheap to buy at the market. See, that's the only bad thing about archery is I'm gonna waste a lot of money on arrows that I can't find everywhere else, and it's gonna make me need to raid a lot more than maybe the normal person. So I draw an arrow because I know there's someone right down here, and the first time I actually played through this, I didn't actually record. I played through it on a different character, which I don't have saved anymore. But I actually snuck through here, and I killed everyone while sneaking. I don't get so lucky all the time, and you might actually see that coming up. Just like, there's this trap right here, and I bet you I will not hit it with these arrows. Hey, miss. Miss. You know, I don't want to waste all my arrows, so. Oh. There we go. Those fall down. And, well, there was one guy I intended to sneak up upon. See, that's what I like about having room to back up, is with archery it helps. Until they are like right up in my face, I can continue to shoot arrows at them. And if I have room to back up, they can't get right up in my face right away. So it gains me more archery levels because I know I'm good at gaining sword levels. I know I can do that stuff. That's not hard. It's the archery levels I've always had difficulty with. And sorry if the audio is a little bit choppy on this. I don't know if it's my recorder or actually when I convert the file, but last time it turned up with no audio at all. This time it's turning up. It's turning up choppy. I know it is. I did a few test runs before I started recording, and yeah, all the videos I took out of it were choppy as heck. There's just nothing I can do about it. Also, you might get a little bored because I am sneaking around almost everywhere throughout this, so I will be moving extremely slow. And I won't go through this cave pretty fast. I believe it takes me like, I want to say half an hour to get through this whole entire thing. And it's annoying, but it's more efficient than dying, and I don't have many health potions, though I try to keep as many as I can on me. There's only so many you can buy, there's only so many you can find. It's good when you find health potions. You can sell them, but in my opinion you really shouldn't, because they're so good to keep, and you make, I guess you can make a little bit of money off them, but it's better to save them so if you get into a nick of trouble, you don't just die. See, and I really thought there was supposed to be a guy in this room, but it turns out that there isn't one. But these were the stones I was talking about. They weigh 1, and they cost 50. They're actually really good to use if you do magic. But oops. Yeah, if you do magic, they're good to use, but they're also really good to sell, whether you do magic or not. That guy noticed me. He wasn't supposed to, but that's okay. But yeah, they are really good if you do magic, and they're especially good if you just want to sell them. You can just get rid of them and make quite a bit of money off it. It's pretty good, and yeah. it's definitely why raiding these types of ruins are really good, is because that's what you find in these ruins. In caves, they're good to raid because you can find all sorts of stuff, but in these, it's those, and there's a stone coming up later. I'm probably going to save and not sell, but most people would sell because it costs quite a pretty penny. And what it does is all the enchanted weapons you have on you that have a limited amount of points that they wear out after a while because you use the magic on them. What they do is every single one you have on you is automatically recharged to full, no matter how many soul gems with whatever kind of soul it would take. I meant to kill this girl with sneak, but I kind of just fell down. So I decided that, my sword would work perfectly. Yeah. Anyways, back to Darklight's channel. He really does this a whole different way than me, because he's being like a berserker character. So he goes through here and he literally takes his hammer and he does like 1-2 swings on each person, just cuts them right down, and he has no trouble waltzing right through here. One of his videos is 14 minutes, and he goes a different way. He explores more of the cave than I do. I definitely know that because I decided not to go that way. So, but there's this Khajiit right here, and these are the only bandits in the cave. So if you're watching this video and you watch Dark Lights, you can know where every person is positioned if you want to sneak, or if you want to rush in and just, quickly kill them. Though a few of them do move around, like that archer girl. If you watch Dark Lights video, she will be coming up the stairs just before the guy with the iron claymore, and then he'll come up the stairs just after that. And for him, they're not that big a deal. So if you didn't notice, there was that door right there, and this will lead you on to a different part of the system. And like I was saying, there's, I think, one guy in here, maybe not any, but I believe there's one bandit in here. And after that, you might think, well, there's nothing else, but you'll find out quickly that that's also true. Sorry about my game there. I accidentally hit the key that you use for cheating. I didn't mean to. It's right above my tab key, which I use for... Oh wow. Which I use for accessing my menu, which I don't want to know why I intended to do, but I do not cheat. Don't get me wrong. Modding, if you're doing it for casual gameplay, is really fun. You can have fun with it all you want. I just don't like it. And the tablet that you're supposed to stand on to get through to the other part of the cave is just behind there. I thought it was in this room, and that's why I came in here. I was looking around for it. Instead, I found this chest. And you'll see me do that a lot. I'll break a lockpick on accident because I'm just trying to quickly do things. But I try and save my lockpicks as much as possible, because later I'll become part of the Thieves Guild, and I'll go through and I'll steal almost everything I can from everyone's house, whether it's really worth it or not, and then I'll just sell it. I was about to leave because I totally forgot about this until I looked at that, and I noticed, well, I remembered, actually, that there's a trapdoor around here, and I just couldn't remember where, and I couldn't remember how to activate it. But I go into this room, and I jump up on, or I jump over, I don't really know, it's been a while. I walk on that, and that falls. If you really want to, there's a zombie behind here. Oh no, that's the wrong one. There's another one later on. There's a zombie. By the way, my graphics are so bad that the blood doesn't even show up as blood. It shows up as a square of red, if you just noticed. And that's just how crappy it is. it's definitely, I definitely need a new PC. Um, my newer episodes after this will have more, well, better blood, at least. This is where the zombie is. I totally forgot about him, and, well, I could have just sneak attacked him. It really wouldn't have done much for me, because he still would attack me, but, I don't know. It's not that hard to kill him anyways. Really, zombies aren't that hard to kill unless you get a bunch of them, because you can just back up from one, and then hit him again, and then back up and hit him again, and they really don't pose that much of a threat by themselves. Oof. So that bandit was killed by something. You'll find out later what it is. I'll actually encounter said person that killed him. Well, it could have been like any of the skeletons that you find in here, but I have the theory that that Khajiit was sacrificed and not just, killed for no reason. So, but anyways, I head down deeper into the caves, and you come out right up here. Ooh, skeleton number 1. Skeletons really don't pose that much of a threat. They're pretty easy to kill. Watch out for your arrows because they actually don't stick in if you're an archer, by the way. They actually just bounce off the skeleton. You'll notice that. Like in Skyrim with the new things that stay in the caves and stuff. I can't really pronounce them, so I'm not going to try. But arrows go into their bodies. Skeletons, they just hit the body and kind of fly off. So that's always fun. More of the stones, so more money. And then this damn trap thing. You really, if you're gonna step on it, you want to step around the edge, like I try to do. And at the last second, it fell. And down there are just spikes, and they're just waiting to kill you. If you didn't know that, now you know, and try not to do that. Because they will hurt you tremendously. They won't kill you like they probably should with just one. They'll just hurt you a lot, and if you stay there, it'll just go down again. So you really don't want to mess with those. There's also ones that push you up, and those are just bad. I think you can actually trick other NPCs, creatures, onto them, and that's funny because that'll just kill them, and that's no problem. But there is a lot of stones that you can find, and it's really going to do you a lot of help. See, if you see here, like I was talking about, this will bounce off him. See, hit the floor. They don't actually stick in the zombie. I mean, skeleton, sorry. Raiding has always been my favorite part about Oblivion. One time I'm almost always a red guard, and I was blade, I was heavy armor, all that jazz, and I was looking for Umbra. No, not Umbra, but I'm thinking of the right armor, but a person who wears the armor specifically. I was looking for Daedric, sorry, actually, not even Umbra's armor. Umbra's armor is Ebony. If you don't know who Umbra is, she's a person you can kill. I think my friend might have already done a video over it. She gives you a really good sword that you can give back to a Daedric relic thing, and it'll give you some other thing that'll help you out. But the sword is really good because what it does is it gives you the ability to capture souls into soul gems, which you need for enchanting or powering your weapons back up that have been diminished from using um, you know, enchanted weapons. Like if you have fire on a weapon that's enchanted, and um, eventually the points on it will be used up, and you'll need to use a soul gem or one of the stones that I'm going to get at the end of this video to regenerate it. And the stones I get at the end of this video are definitely not easy to come by, so you want to save them whenever you can, and you don't want just one weapon of magic that doesn't work. You want more than one, or it's not going to do you any good. But the armor is also ebony, not daedric. But when you're level 20, well, I was level 20, I think 24 or 25 red guard, and I found a set and a half, sorry, of daedric armor just plundering through caves. One set I completely enchanted for strength and endurance, and I carried, not even joking, 700 pounds is how much I could carry. And then I had a potion, a lovely little potion I bought a lot of, and I think I maybe made a few of, that gave you a weight capacity of 100 more, and I think I could drink like 3 of them. So I could carry 1,000 pounds, and when I was running like fast. That's the stone that regenerates magic depleted weapons. And that was the whole reason I came in here, was just to get that. It's very good to have. You can sell it, but there's also another thing I get, I believe, in here that is really good. I think I'm getting it right now, actually. It's a statue, or it'll call it a statue. It really doesn't look like a statue, but to the right, to a collector. You have to wait for this, but eventually, I think when you try to sell one, or you do sell one, which is kind of crappy because it sells for $250, but when you sell one, a guy will come up to you and be like, "Oh, well, my master wants it for 1,000," but you can find them in several of these Iliad ruins. I hope I'm saying that right. But you can find them, and he pays you 1,000 rather than the store's 250, and it's definitely a boost on your money. It's definitely a good thing. They're sort of hard to find, but if you just keep coming here to caves like this, you should be able to get a lot. Now here's the guy I think who killed the Khajiit. He's a necromancer, which is kind of weird that he's a red guard. I don't understand some of the classes that they, well, some of the races that they put on some of these mages and stuff, because red guards typically handle like swords and are really good swordsmen, when if you want to really be a mage, you want to be like a Breton or one of those elves, which I'm almost never an elf. The only elf that I really ever played as before was a wood elf, and that was because I used to use a bow at one point. So, we're nearing the end of my video, not the total end, but quite towards the end. And here's a demonstration of how hard it can be to pick locks. In Oblivion, whereas in Skyrim you have to judge it based on where you are, it's a lot easier to save your lockpick than it is here, because you have to keep getting them, and unless you're a certain level, every time you get it wrong, all but one of them drop, and it's a pain, because if you mess up once, especially like on a very hard lock, where all 5 of them are down, you get a certain, like, say you get all four of the 5 of them up, and you go to get the 5th one up, and the 5th one decides that, oh, well, it's going to be a D-bag and mess up on you for some reason, yeah, you're going to get the blunt end of the stick on that one. The 3 that you just did are going to fall down, and you're going to have to do 4 all over again. And it's ridiculous. Alright. So this is going to be the end of episode 2. And if you want to know where this ruin is, I'm going to look towards the sewers. I'm going to look towards the ruin, and the sewers, and the ruin. Or not. Oh, there we go. So, there you go. And now for a fade to black. I will see you guys next time.